Okay. A little early. A few minutes. But that's okay. You know, YouTube is getting, hello Liquid Gal, a little early. Seems YouTube is getting just about as hard to navigate as Rumble was. Something's changed. Seems every time I set up, something has changed bigly. Usually when I set up, I have to go through a series of questions. Is this made for kids, or do kids, are there any kids in the video and all that stuff? But I didn't get any of that. I didn't even get an option to post a thumbnail. So I don't know why. Last week there were issues where they wanted a security download to get on, and I changed that, and now I ended up with this. But anyways, that's why I'm on here a little bit early. I sent out one link and I had to cancel that and set up a new link. It's all fun and games. Nobody gets hurt, but it's a pain in the butt. I don't know why they have to do all this stuff, but hey, they're the geniuses. They make it hard on us little people. Christy Ray says February 25th. See, okay, and on here it shows me as March 2nd. I don't know what's going on with this with YouTube. Like I say, they've changed their platform around a bit or something. Now it's correct. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we'll get a couple more on here maybe, and then we'll get into this. I was watching a little bit of politics today. You know, it happens. And actually, I'm going to, let's see, get out of here. Boy, oh boy. Okay. Just let me get my head together here. Okay, so today I was watching Pierre Poilievre give an announcement on CPAC. It was okay, you know. Catherine, welcome. It was okay. I think Pierre did pretty good, all things considered. There's a lot of, you know, disapproval by the mainstream media, and of course the political parties are hacks. Now, one of the so-called reporters from CTV asked the question to Pierre if he would put boots on the ground in Ukraine. Well, that was a loaded question, and Pierre didn't answer that. Well, I'm sitting there watching, I'm thinking, well, wait now. Maybe that reporter, so-called reporter, should become a war correspondent, and he could go over and get in the front lines in Ukraine and report back to us of how the war is going over there. And then he could earn his money that way, and then we wouldn't have to put boots on the ground because we'd have our news media there reporting back to us, right? Well, you know, that wouldn't happen, but it would shut that reporter up, wouldn't it? What a loaded question. And there was a few other questions, too, that were just as bad. But anyways, we haven't got enough troops to protect our border. And why would we want to send troops to Ukraine? It was just ridiculous. And a couple other questions were just insane, too. 79 terra firma. Didn't Trudeau already commit soldiers to there? I don't know if he committed troops on the ground. I think, look, who knows? I think I did hear him say something like that. He's going to keep his mouth shut. He's just trying to do as much damage as he can before he goes out. Just in case Carney goes in. Now, and then Carney will just follow along with whatever Trudeau, any statements that he made or promises he made. We don't have a military. I mean, it's just so sad the state we're in. You know, I don't know. Trudeau's just disgusting. I said he was going to burn it down the way out. He's not letting me down. That's what he's doing. He's trying to do as much damage as he can. And by the way, when you look at the polls, that was another question they asked him. Well, what do you think of the polls, Pierre? You know, it seems the Conservatives and Liberals are almost tied. Well, he didn't answer that question either. And I don't blame him, because if you look, if you do a little bit of snooping online, you'll find that all the top pollsters are on the government payroll. Do you think they're going to give the government bad numbers? Of course not. You talk to the people on the street, or you go online and start looking into social media, nothing's changed. The Liberals are in the doghouse, in the basement where they should be. So I don't think those polls are holding true at all. And send the Mounties to Ukraine. That'd be a good place for them, yeah. I agree, 100%. Emma, Marie, Shireen. So it keeps repeating everything is on the table, yeah. Well, anyways, it's just been one of those weeks. And same with this YouTube setup. I don't know what's going on with it, why I can't get it. Everything's changed again. Okay, I'll drop that subject. That's over with, done. We're on here. So, what I was looking at, for one thing, I'm going to see if I can bring this up. I can close this out now. I need some software up here. I got to make a couple of changes, folks. Just bear with me whilst I do this and get things underway. There. Okay. So now I'm going to bring up this screen here. And this is here it is. This is Fraser Institute. I'm going to bring this up so you can take a look at it too. If this held true, and if Alberta would cut off those transfer payments to the other provinces, we could get things rocking and rolling here. As long as these transfer payments are happening, they're going to keep happening. They've got to stop. I've been saying that for a while too. Stop the transfer payments. If that happened, the country could get up on its own 2 feet and be very successful coast to coast. So this, let's see if I can find it here now. Yeah. This come out from the Fraser Institute. That's a think tank out in British Columbia. Says, this is a study from February 27th, or this report was anyways. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick are sitting on billions of dollars in undeveloped shale gas potential. Hydraulic fracturing opportunities for Atlantic Canada. Atlantic Canada has significant reserves of unconventional natural gas, which could be developed via the technology of hydraulic fracturing. A 2017 report by the Canadian Energy Research Institute estimates that onshore, primarily shale gas potential in place at the Horton Bluff in Nova Scotia ranges from 17 trillion cubic feet. At current market prices for natural gas, this reserve would represent a market value of between $47 billion and $190 billion. Nova Scotia's Frederick Brook Shale Formation has been estimated to hold 67.3 trillion cubic feet to 80 trillion cubic feet of gas in place. At current market prices for natural gas, this reserve would represent a market value of $186 billion to $221 billion. Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as Prince Edward Island, are believed to have unconventional shale gas potential as well, though no firm estimates have been developed. The moratoria on hydraulic fracturing instituted in 2013-2014 remain in place in the Atlantic provinces, preventing the development of Atlantic Canada's shale resources and leaving potentially large economic gains trapped underground. Removal of those moratoria would certainly be a first step in sending a signal that Atlantic Canada might be open for hydraulic fracturing gas development. However, it might not be enough to spur development of the resources. Environmental regulations, such as the Impact Assessment Act, Canada's Net Zero 2050 framework, the Clean Electricity regulations, and opposition from Aboriginal groups would all pose barriers to natural gas developments. Well, look at this. New Brunswick. Long-term potential market value, $186 to $221 billion. Nova Scotia, $47 to $190 billion. The poor provinces could become they would be rich provinces. Then they could pay in to the federal government. So, but why, oh why, can't we do it? Well, for one thing, one reason, there's a few here. I'm going to bring up this one here. This is from Canada's National Observer. I think it's probably kind of a left-wing organization. I'll get rid of some of this stuff. Go back here. That's not what I want. Maybe it's not going to let me show it now. I'll go to another one. Well, here it is. East Coast fight over fracking could get ugly, First Nations warn. Yeah. And here we go, right? This was from 2013 at Rexton, New Brunswick, when they burnt police cars, RCM police cars, and shot them up. And these were natives that come in from the United States. They were Mohawk, I believe. That's a Mohawk flag right there. There's no Mohawk natives in New Brunswick. So they come in from either Quebec or U.S. Says here, New Brunswick can count on a huge backlash if it follows through on its recent comments about fracking natural gas, 6 First Nations chiefs in the province say. Well, this is from, this is old. This is from 2023. It's before our last election when the Liberals get in, right? So the issue could get ugly here. Chief Alan Polches Jr. of St. Mary's First Nation told Canada's National Observer. Chief Alan Polches, I call him Chief Pink Cloud, if you know what I mean. In the past few months, Premier Blaine Higgs, that's when the Conservatives were in, has been ramping up his support for fracked gas, a fossil fuel made mostly of methane. On Wednesday, he reportedly told business publication All New Brunswick he would pursue fracked gas development regardless of buy-in from First Nation communities across the province. According to a press release from the Wolastoqey Nation, Higgs told the publication if First Nations don't want to be involved, there comes a time when you just got to find a way to move on. The comment marks a stark contrast to his State of the Province address, where he said he wouldn't pursue fracking without collaboration from First Nations. Thursday, the Wolastoqey Nation, they represent Madawaska, Woodstock, Tobique, Kingsclear, St. Mary's, and Oromocto First Nations, spoke out against his comments. The nation called out the Premier for dodging his responsibility to consult and get support from Indigenous communities. He can't get support from them. They say no. So, Deborah, Fred, who or what pays for the Saudi oil imported to the east coast of Canada? That would come into the Irving Oil Refinery. They have to get it somewheres. So, anyways, I'll carry on here. The MTI Inc. Incorporated, a group representing the 9 Mi'kmaq communities in New Brunswick, also criticized the Premier's remarks. To date, the province has not been willing to commit to a proper consultation and impact assessment process. Look, you can't have one. Both sides have to agree to that. What was the first line? The first line I read there? New Brunswick can count on a huge backlash if it follows through on its recent comments about fracking natural gas, and the issue could get ugly. How are you going to come to an agreement with that attitude? You're not. Says Higgs should have learned from 2013, the last time his government had frack dreams shut down by Indigenous people. We'll do it again, and we'll do it with the support of New Brunswickers. Not all New Brunswickers. In 2013, heated protests against fracking in New Brunswick led to dozens of arrests and a review of the way the police handled the demonstrations. They're being shot at. They're up in the woods shooting down at them. That was in Rexton, New Brunswick. The following year, the province placed a moratorium on fracking. That was a change of government. The Liberals come in. According to the provincial government, a moratorium will not be lifted until a social license is in place. Sound familiar? It sounds something like Legault in Quebec, doesn't it? And a process is in place to respect our obligations under the duty to consult with First Nations, among other requirements. Swin Resources was here. They vandalized their equipment. They did a lot of damage to it, millions of dollars worth of damage. They had to get their equipment out before it was completely destroyed. How do you deal with? You can't sit down at a table with people like that. They also pointed out the dangers of fracking. A lot of fracking going on through the U.S., through Western Canada. There's been no issues. Might have been the odd issue, but I would say 99% of it just been nothing major anyways. Well, we would hear about it, wouldn't we? Have you heard anything about these major fracking issues? I haven't, because they're not there. So anyways, they go on with all this stuff that was actually, I think, there was a movie that came out, and that was in the 80s, maybe 90s, probably the 90s. It came out. It was American made. It might have been Oklahoma or somewheres, and they had all this fear spreading around. People were lighting their water up coming out of their faucet, and apparently there was an issue in that place, but it's not as widespread as they want to make you believe, right? I forget what that movie was called. It was Gas something, or anyways, we could have all kinds of income, but they won't let us. And there's no reason for it either, because Frack Nation, Emma, yeah. No, it's very, very disturbing when I see this stuff. I worked in the gas industry. So I worked in gas plants and sour gas, mostly sour gas. I also worked on the Irving LNG plant, liquefied natural gas plant. That plant That plant, it accepts liquefied natural gas, and then it's turned into a vapor for distribution. That plant is built to be reversed, so it can liquefy natural gas. It's on an ice-free port, year-round, deep water port, heading straight over to Europe. Irving's got his own ship lines. All we need is the pipeline or fracking in the province. That's all we need. And they won't let us have it. And I'm very ticked off about that because times are getting harder. There's a big market for our gas. Pierre's been going on steady and about it, and he wants to get it going. Faye, I just sold it. What'd you sell? Pierre better wake up. He's sounding too liberal these days. Yes, you're right. He is. He's walking on thin ice. The media is just waiting to pounce. I wish he'd just be quiet about Ukraine. He didn't say, what he said today about Ukraine was, we support Ukraine. He didn't say financially. He didn't say with troops. You know, I guess we could wave their, not we. I guess some people in Canada could wave the Ukrainian flag like they do, but then that's kind of a good thing too, because then we get to see who the idiots are. They stand out when they got that Ukrainian flag. So, Mr. Magoo, Pierre's disappointing on his Ukraine view. Yes, I agree. But they're waiting to pounce. They're looking for that. They're trying to set him up. So he's got to, Phil, I think maybe he's avoiding the media feeding frenzy. Exactly. They do not want the conservatives in. And he's just, hopefully it's not for much longer and we can get an election. And I think that's why the media is so desperate to get him. They think they're running out of time. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. We don't have any choice, really. But I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's going to get in there and flip, and I just can't see it in him. I could be wrong. I was wrong once, and I found out I was mistaken. No, I'm wrong lots, actually, but, you know, like I say, he's not giving them, they're trying to bait him, but he's not taking it. He's pretty good at dodging it. So the heat is on Carney. I spent the last few days on X Grok 3, the AI platform, making memes. There's a meme war going on against Carney. And memes work. Memes get the message across. So there's going to be more and more of that. And it's being encouraged on the right to get these memes out. The left can't meme, we know that. They try to copy. They steal ideas like the liberals are doing right now. You see, Pierre has stopped, well, he hasn't stopped, but he's slowed down a little bit, revealing his plan, because Carney steals it. Freeland steals it. It's like they shared it. Freeland stole some of Pierre's plans, and Carney stole the rest. And the other two just kind of chimed in. So, as it goes on closer, once the writ is dropped, put it that way, it's all going to break loose. Pierre hasn't gone too hard on Trump. He's they're trying to get him, they're trying their best to get him to say something derogative about Trump, and he hasn't. All he's been saying is it's Canada first, and it always will be. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? He says we need troops on the border. We need to look at other places to do business with. He doesn't say not going to do business with the USA. He's just saying we need to expand into other countries, which is common sense. He says there'll be retaliatory tariffs. Well, you can see that coming. That's unavoidable, I think. But I'm not going to start really picking on him. He's got enough liberals picking on him, so just let that one ride for now. Hopefully, if Carney sees that there's more damaging stuff coming out against him, he's probably going to try to drop the writ faster and sooner than later, because he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet. And if they keep coming out more and more, he's going to run out of time. So it would be nice. Like, we're still waiting on the court decision on whether or not the prorogation was legal. The judge is dragging his feet on that one too. Probably a liberal judge. Just saying. Seems Trudeau owns, the liberals anyways, own the pollsters. They own the media. They own the courts. So far, they don't own the Conservative Party. We still got Singh to deal with. Don't worry. Just because he's got his pension doesn't mean he's going to go along, because he knows he's going to lose his seat. So there's another gearbox we're stuck with. Yeah, he's going to stick with Carney. So that means that the Liberals have to call the election. It won't come down to a confidence vote, because the confidence vote won't pass as long as Singh is in there. And Charlie Angus, look at the nutcase that thing is. These are the ones that are, I'm retired. Look at Anita Anand. I'm not going to run again. Oh, well, wait now. The polls have changed. I'm going to run again. Yeah, I want to do public service. No, you don't. You get your hand in the cookie jar, and you want to go back in there and get what else you can before you kick to the curb. What do we got going in chat here? Marie, CBC doubled money for election coverage plus misleading stats can report. Okay. Liquid Gal, Mark Carney's big into climate change. Oh yeah, so is his wife. I think his wife is hardcore than he is, but he's going to go along. There you go. Yeah, she's even bigger into this climate crap. Yeah. Also pics of Carney, his wife Diane, Fox Carney with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on with that Epstein list? We're just chomping at the bit to see it. We know it's international. We know we don't know, but we think somebody that was very high up or top might be on that list. So, Jimmy Dhaliwal, douchebag extraordinaire, yeah. Yeah, I throw his name out there once in a while. I started to do a video on that, but I just get tied up with some other stuff. Jimmy Dhaliwal, he's the Khalistani terrorist supporter. But Singh is just leader of the NDP, right? Wears two hats, or two turbans rather. So, yeah. Yeah, he's as phony as they come. He's a terrorist by night and a politician by day. There's Lawrence Buckley, you made it. Bog Katie. Nice to get some info from those in the know over the pond in UK. Reed Carney and wife and their friends. Yeah, their friends. I can imagine what they are. Now, did that greasy little Ukrainian comedian, did he try to con President Trump? I'm going to find it here. Maybe it was this one. No, it was here. Okay. I'll have to bring it up on the other screen. Yeah. This is actually from Lawrence. You had to search. Getting weird sites. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and me. Okay. Did Ukraine, remember, what's his name there? Keir Starmer. Did he swing a deal? He was over talking to Zelensky, eh? Says, did Ukraine already sign a precious metals deal with the UK back in January? And does President Trump know about this? Who will ever forget how rude and dishonorable Ukraine's President Zelensky was on Friday to President Trump? Vice President J.D. Vance. Yeah, he said under his breath in Ukrainian, he called Vance a whore bitch. That dirty little, grimy little slug. Anyways, the president's all-star cabinet and the American people, Volodymyr Zelensky was way out of line, and his actions were repulsive for a weak leader visiting the country that has sent $350 billion to his war cause, courtesy of the previous administration. Zelensky should be immediately escorted out of the White House and immediately exported back to Ukraine. What a disrespectful piece of crap this person is. How dare he speak to the President of the United States of America and to the people of America. After all, we the people of Trump. That's General Flynn's statement. So, it could be that Zelensky was so out of line because he had numerous lies that he did not tell President Trump or the world. For example, where is the $100 billion US dollars of US support that he lost and is currently unaccountable for? That's kind of a big one. Well, it could have something to do with his mansion in Spain, or maybe the one in Florida, or some of the yachts. Could have gone anywhere, or it could just be turned into gold bricks or something. We don't know, do we? However, it turns out that this may not be Zelensky's biggest lie. Zelensky's biggest lie may involve the UK and Europe. Last month, the UK announced an agreement with Ukraine that was signed on January 16th. There was one key point in the announcement that stuck out. It also cements, this is the announcement, it also cements the UK as a preferred partner for Ukraine's energy sector, critical minerals strategy, and green steel production. That's already signed. Although it has yet to be confirmed, some believe that this entire agreement includes Ukraine giving the rights to its minerals to the UK, not the US. And this agreement was signed just days before Trump entered office. That way, the UK could screw American taxpayers who paid for Zelensky's unending war with Russia. Now, I would not put that by that little sleazy, little lying, money-grubbing, warmongering piece of garbage. I'm trying not to be too hard on them. Just stating facts, folks, just stating the facts. Now, we also have to remember that while all this is going on, all these distractions with Ukraine and with the energy, with tariffs, with, well, I could go on and on about what's going on around the world right now. But this is an article from the Activist Post, and it's dated March 2nd, 2025, so it is recent, it is today. Barbara Marx Hubbard and the Malthusian transhumanist riders of the pale horse. Why did the celebrated futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard call for the culling of 1/4 of the human population? John Kleizak tracked down Hubbard's infamous unpublished manuscript and digs deeper into the legacy of her Malthusian gospel of conscious transhuman evolution. You know this is all going on with the AI, with the robots, with the digital ID coming in, and with the CBDCs and all this garbage they're pulling on us, right? And the paper money, the currency is not going to be worth even to wipe your bum with. It's just totally going to be totally useless. There'll be no underground economy because they'll ban it, and anybody caught using it will probably go to jail. Just thinking out of the box here, but you know how these people work. It says, for some time there have been efforts to facelift the Malthusian transhumanist bent of the Fourth Industrial Revolution with a patina of New Age spirituality through a belief in conscious evolution, such as that propagated by futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard. We know that's going on. We can see that. That's right in front of our eyes right now. It says, yet notwithstanding Hubbard's lofty invocation of Christ consciousness, her faith in conscious evolution holds that, in order to mitigate overpopulation crisis, natural resources must be rationed through sustainable development economics, while human resources must be neo-eugenically culled and biotechnologically engineered into a new transhuman species. In fact, with the blessings of Rockefeller philanthropy, Hubbard, who promoted sustainable development at the United Nations and collaborated with known Malthusians from groups like the World Economic Forum and the Club of Rome, was one of the most radical advocates of population reduction in the name of spiritual evolution. This is going down, folks. Gee, who's really high up in the WEF? Mark Carney? Yeah. Club of Rome? Oh, I bet he's in there. Both feet. Across the internet, there has been wide circulation of an excerpt from an unpublished manuscript in which Hubbard declared that 1/4 of humanity will need to be culled in order to usher in a utopian New Age order. Now, I'm just going to back up here a little bit, where they said that natural resources must be rationed through sustainable development economics. Natural resources. So, isn't that what the Liberal Party is talking about? Natural resources, you know. There's a little piece out of it here. It says, out of the full spectrum of human personality, 1/4 is elected to transcend. That's them, the elite. 1/4 is destructive. They are defective seeds. That's how they look at us. We're defective seeds, folks. These people are evil. In the past, they were permitted to die a natural death. Can't have that anymore. No, they just want to take us out. Now, as we approach the quantum shift from the creature human to the co-creative human, the human who is an inheritor of godlike powers, the destructive one-fourth must be eliminated from the social body. Fortunately, you are not responsible for this act. We are. We are in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse, death. I'll tell you right now, the one-fourth that's destructive, you're going to destroy their asses. It ain't going to go as smooth as they think. So, now that, I'm going to back up here. This series of Barbara Marx Hubbard, the author, he says, I have been unable to trace the provenance of the unpublished manuscript. Since then, I conducted some further sleuthing, and I was able to track down a copy of the manuscript in the possession of attorney Constance Cumbey, who is the acclaimed author of The Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow, the New Age Movement, and Our Coming Age of Barbarism. Cumbey purchased several copies of the manuscript on multiple occasions, including once from Hubbard personally and once from Rama Vernon, who orchestrated a series of Soviet American citizens' summits that Hubbard attended along with Doug Coe, who was the figurehead of the Christian Fellowship Foundation. Notice they call themselves Christian foundations. That's a red flag right there on a lot of these outfits. And Paul Temple, who funded the fellowship and founded the Institute of Noetic Sciences, where Hubbard preached her Malthusian gospel of conscious transhuman evolution. For the full backstory on Cumbey's expose of Hubbard's manuscript, you can watch this interview of Courtney Turner at Cumbey's estate. Now that Hubbard's infamous manuscript has been verified, it deserves an explication in this series. Henceforth, this article will examine how the manuscript, which is titled The Revelation Alternative to Armageddon, from the Book of Co-Creation and Evolutionary Interpretation of the New Testament, that reveals further evidence of Hubbard's Malthusian transhumanist vision of the future. Moreover, this article will explicate how Hubbard's alternative to Armageddon preaches a gospel of Malthusian crisis evolution that was inspired by her spiritual idol, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, shared by her kindred evolutionary Jonas Salk, and bankrolled by her beloved benefactor, Lawrence Rockefeller. Furthermore, this article will show how Hubbard's gospel of crisis evolution is being resounded by the WEF to push Malthusian policies under the banner of sustainable development to further the transhumanist fourth industrial revolution. We went over this many long time ago on YouTube on here about the SDGs. But it's all playing out now, and it has been for a while. Additionally, this article will document how the legacies of Salk and Rockefeller continue to propel Malthusian sustainable development and transhuman evolution through the Salk Institute, Venrock, the UN, and the World Wildlife Fund. I remember saying we had to get out of the United Nations, out of NATO, away from WEF and WHO. I think Trump's kind of heading that way. But no, they're dragging their feet here. Rah, rah, NATO. Rah, rah, WHO, WEF. That's been awful quiet. That's not coming out in our politics now, is it? Baptism by Teilhard de Chardin's Malthusian eugenic crisis of noetic birth. Barbara Hubbard, godmother of transhumanism and synthetic spirituality. This is a whole series of articles. You could look it up. Lawrence Buckley, Scientology. Yeah, that's you're on track there, Lawrence. Anyways, it's a series here. If you look on the activist post, it was just posted today. The future of man. In order to avert famine and other ecological catastrophes from overpopulation, the human species would need to cull its own population down to a maximum size while eugenically engineering the appropriate ratios and proportions of racial hygienic caste hierarchy ranked according to different ethnic types. Well, they're not racist. In a chapter titled The Directions and Conditions of the Future, which resounded the alarm of Mr. Henry Fairfield Osborne, his Malthusian treatise, Our Plundered Planet, these people are not only dangerous, they're evil. There's going to be a culling, but I think it's going to start at the top. I know they got underground bunkers, but they got to get to them. And once they're in there, they're out of commission. So, notice how they keep talking about, well, basically the food, right? Oh, the food's going to run out. Planet's going to run out of food. Yeah, got to eat the bugs, right? Yeah. And what did Trudeau spend on food last year? Sheila Gunn Reid just posted that. I think it was $82,000, that thing spent on groceries. Right. He couldn't even he can't flip a pancake even. He proved that at the Calgary Stampede. He can't even flip a friggin' pancake. But he spent $82,000 on groceries. Right. You gotta be pretty useless to be a liberal. That's like Joe Biden trying to walk. I just seen that. It was one of his last times on the beach trying to walk across the sand. All he was doing was dragging his toes and kicking the sand up. I was waiting for him to do a face plant, but didn't have to walk very far. Anyways, this sure sounds like the Nazis, doesn't it? Doesn't this kind of bring back old WW2 issues? People starving, people being eliminated. First thing they did was take their arms. I'm not talking about their physical arms, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta be careful on here. So I don't like this platform, but it does get a little more exposure. It reeks of Nazis. Because, what about the Azov Battalion over in Ukraine? You don't hear much about that, do you? Speaking of Nazis, on the left. Oh, and then you had Hunka or whatever, Hunka I guess his name was, the old SS executioner from Ukraine. They brought him to the House of Commons and everybody stood up and applauded him. But I think they'd already started applauding on one side before they realized what they were applauding for. That was a dirty trick by the Liberals bringing him in. He shouldn't have been in the country to begin with. He should have been standing on trial over at the Nuremberg trials. He should have never made it out of Nuremberg. But hey, Chrystia Freeland's propaganda agent for the Nazis. Moved to Alberta, bought a farm, lived a quiet life. A lot of Nazis made it here. Hence, we have a Liberal Party. So, yeah. And the Azov Battalion was blowing the heck out of the Russian citizens living in Ukraine, in the Russian provinces. What is going on with this? Okay. I'm so confused. My software, it's way behind. I'm looking at old images that were from 20 minutes ago. Old Katie. Karina Gould wanted that event removed from the Hansard. No kidding, eh? What did they avoid nerve and a broken tooth? Oh yeah, well, let's just scrub that. Pretend that never happened. So, Emma, including conservatives, yeah, all 338 stood up and cheered. So, Liquid Gal Freeland holding the scarf, the banner there, whatever of the Azov battalion, yeah. No, yeah, it's in our faces, but people are too blind to see it. I've seen a poll. I hate to say that and look at them, but one of New Brunswick that says 32 ridings are Liberal now and 16 Conservative. It was the other way around. So now it's flipped. Do people really believe Carney is that upstanding and that wonderful and honest? So, seems they do, but we don't know if that's true or not. It's polls, right? Hey, Gary. The Gazin poster has a fist with 6 fingers. Really? I did not see that. Marie, I'm afraid people are going to be stupid again. We've got to work the memes on Carney. If you want to do some memes, they're easy to do. It's free. You can go on X, Grok 3, and just all you gotta do is enter in. It says how can I help you or whatever in the search box. Just enter in, make an image of Mark Carney in front of the Hoover Dam under construction. That was one I did. And there it is. And you just save that image and post it. So it's very simple. It's free. So we got to keep this meme war going. So every time something comes out on Carney, that was because Carney lies. I'm sure you've seen them. They just got flooded on X. So, yeah. These memes work because people see them, because they don't have to read or listen, and sometimes they'll get a chuckle out of it. But what it does, it implants that in their mind, right? And so, subconsciously maybe. I don't know, but as long as we keep them going, it's hashtag Carney Lies, is what it is. So that gets it around. They'll see that hashtag Carney Lies, and they'll know what it's about then. Because some people on the left are just totally tuned right out. I guess majority of them are. They wouldn't be on that side of the spectrum. The things we have to deal with, the things we have to do to try to get through to people. Wow. Phil, sorry to hear that, man. Your mom dying right now. She entertained the maid. Now that she sees nearing the end, she's not so maid. Good. Apparently that maid is not what they make it out to be. There's a lot of suffering and pain involved with that. She's 86. Yeah, my mom passed away at 85. That seems to be in the ballpark age range. Not easy. It's not easy, I know that. Carol Ann. Yeah, Phil, we're sorry to hear that. Betty. Welcome, Betty. Every time an election comes up, Trudeau offers something like legalized pot, free dental care, universal basic income, and everybody falls for it and votes Liberal. Yes, you're right. The thing is, I tell people, nothing is free. And the government doesn't pay for anything. We pay for it. The government doesn't earn money. They steal money, and then they dish out a little bit to us and say, look how good we are to you. But meanwhile, they're sending it all around the world, and they're not helping us at all. So when people say, no, the government's going to give us free this or free that, no, they're not. People are that stupid. They think the government is giving them something free. The government has nothing to give. They've got to take first before they can give back. So, serendipity started. Please don't use AI for memes. Use photos or imagination. The thing about memes is sometimes when you do with photos and stuff, it doesn't accept that size. It's too big or it's not big enough. And then you got to try to tweak it. And it takes a long time to do that. So that's why I just go right on to the AI, because right now AI might not be good. People might not agree with it, but we can use it as a tool right now. It's in its infancy. Faye Knox, I have a living will, and after I die, donate my organs, then fry me. They can't take organs from a dead person. You got to be alive. As far as I know. No, I could be wrong, but they start deteriorating as soon as the body stops. The oxygen and everything stops. It starts breaking down. Liquor gal, 40 years ago, a pamphlet was left on my car. The windshield said, do not take the hand microchip. It's part of the devil 666. Not sure from which church it was. Well, it kind of says that in the good book, eh? Mark on your hand or your forehead. There's a brain chip. Don't take any chips. Stay away from chips. Aren't good for you. Well, Faye, you have 2 sons. Right on. Okay. Phil, UBI, full-on communism. Yep, people are going to fall for it too. Oh, free money from the government, right? Right? Liberals, oh, we're going to give you some free money. Look what they did with during the cough thing, right? They gave out CERB, and then they wanted everybody to pay it back, and nobody had any money. But they printed all that money to get it out there. Yeah. Yeah. Ronald Reagan. Never trust, was it? 9 words. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. That's the word. 9 words should scare you the most. So, right now, what I did, I actually ordered in a portable power supply. It's a rechargeable electric. It's an 800 watt. They're on sale. There's $230 off with taxes and free shipping. It was $425. I don't trust our power grid, the prices. I think I can use that to run some things and cut down on my power bill. I also have it as a standby. So I consider that an investment. We have to kind of look at when things go sideways, how are we going to deal with it? I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they make precious metals illegal to hold, like they did in the States back in the 30s, was it? I'm not sure on the date in the U.S. when they did that. I think it was the 30s. People had to turn in their gold. I wouldn't be a bit surprised they pulled out again and say, no, you have to go with the CBDCs. If you get caught with gold or cash, you're going to be charged. It'll be a criminal offense. If we get a carny government. Now, if we get a conservative government, how is Trump and how would Poilievre deal with digital currencies, CBDCs? I don't think Poilievre would bring in UBI. He knows what it is. I can't see him doing that. But if the Liberals get it in first, it's hard to take it back because people will say, those mean conservatives are taking my free money. No, it's a welfare check. That's all it is. And it's not a check, but it's a welfare payment. So, you know, anyways, we don't know what they're going to pull, but we know we're getting closer and closer to a financial collapse. Even the U.S., Trump said that, you know, odds are they're going to go into a recession when he gets into power. Well, he's in now, but I mean, before that, he said when he get in, because of the mess, everything is in. And it looks like, yes, he could be heading into a recession. Well, we know we are. You know, the economy is horrible here. I'm retired. I would hate to be out there in the workforce right now because I worked in the oil and gas. I'd be unemployed because they've shut it down, or nearly closed it off. If they had their way, it would be shut down. You know, Lawrence, Fred, did I lose power yesterday? No, I didn't. I think some people did somewhere around the city. Was it yesterday or the day before? Sharp. Carney's a bankster. He can oversee the bankruptcy. He'll create a liquid gal. Fred, nervous cow makes a milkshake. Well, like I say, our power bills right here now are going up, and they just went up. They're going up again April 1st, along with the carbon tax, along with the, there's an escalator tax on alcohol. That's illegal. The carbon tax is illegal because they're escalator taxes. They're supposed to be put into Parliament and voted on every year. Doesn't stop the Liberals from passing illegal taxes. And but meanwhile, with Jolie, what's she got? $2,000 a month liquor bill. So, but we pay for that. Lawrence, hydro bill this month was $455. That hurts. Phil, yours is over $350. Mine was just under $400. I was down to, in the winter months, I was at, I think, somewhere around $200. Now it was $375 or something. Phil, you had vehicles plugged in. Yeah, I did the math on that. It depends how many hours you have them in for. I only have mine on for about a couple hours in the morning. But I don't think it makes that much. I think they're only about 600 watts or something. They vary. And a heater in the basement to keep pipe from freezing. Yeah, heaters draw a lot of power. There's no way around it. We live in Canada. They got us. Yeah. U.S., well, they run AC more, but it's not this time of year, I don't think. Actually running AC. So, what else do I have here that I've been looking at? I'm going back to the Gateway Pundit. I seen a comment on X, and the guy had said, we got to bring in conscription for the military. Oh, really? Well, I replied, I said, who would you recommend being conscripted? Would it be the pro-Palestinian protesters out in the streets screaming death to Canada? Would you conscript them? Or would you just prefer to have our homegrown guys and gals conscript them so they can go and fight for these people to stand in the streets and protest about death to Canada? Which would it be? I never got a reply to that one. These people don't think they got their head up their butt. I was just looking at an image, Trump and Zelensky. U.S. owes Ukraine nothing and wear a suit next time. Yeah, I don't think there's... Well, here's one here. This is from today. Britain's ambassador urges Zelensky to give his unequivocal backing to Trump's peace initiative, says U.S. negotiation is the only show in town. Well, yeah, there's a guy that's thinking straight. Spencer Fernando has really got me ticked right off. He used to be pretty conservative. Man, as he's swung. This guy's a nutcase. And he's saying, yeah, that we should have troops on the ground in Ukraine. Well, Spencer, you get right over there and you get out there in the front lines, buddy. You probably never picked up a firearm in your life. You'd probably end up hurting yourself with it. He's turned into a complete moron. Andrew Coyne is another one. He's always been a moron, though. So Britain's ambassador to the United States said the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky should offer his total support to Donald Trump's peace initiative. That was on an interview on ABC this week with George Stephanopoulos. Wow. And Lord Peter Mendelsohn said Zelensky must also sign the mineral rights deal that the U.S. and Ukraine have previously been working on. Well, who's going to get it? Is it going to be UK, or is it going to be U.S., or is it going to be a joint? Each one gets a mine? I don't know. Says we need a very radical reset, and it has to consist of the United States and Ukraine getting back on the same page. Zelensky giving his unequivocal backing to the initiative that President Trump is taking to end the war to bring a just and lasting peace to Ukraine. I heard today that it wasn't going to happen until Zelensky gave a public apology to President Trump. Because he wouldn't apologize when he was asked how many times. So now he's got to do it publicly or stay home. Europeans, too, they need to back the cause for a ceasefire. Well, that's weird because the EU, I forget her name, head of the EU or spokesperson or whatever she is all in on attacking Russia. Then part of the unfolding plan for this negotiation, the Europeans and perhaps some other countries, too, have got to consider how they are going to put forces on the ground to play their part in providing enduring security and deterrence for Ukraine And I just seen that Norway, one of the original NATO countries, said they're not going to allow refueling of any American warships in Norway. Okay, you're right on Russia's border. Don't come crying to President Trump when you hear a lot of Russian-speaking people in your town square. So I can't see that happening. I don't think Russia's going to go into Norway, but why would they pull that? Because that makes them think that, oh, look at us, we're standing up to the big bad Donald Trump. No, you're just an idiot. So Lynn, the Norway story was fake news, was it? Okay, good. Because it hit a lot of the airwaves. Well, that's good to know, Lynn. Ursula, Bogcatty, that's the one, yeah. Okay, well. Okay, Norway, I'm sorry. See, I get them wrong sometimes. There's a lot of fake news out there, isn't there? But there's a lot of true stuff to call fake news, but then again. Putin said he had minerals to sell to the States. Faye. Yeah, I think they were looking at a deal too. Man, this world's going crazy, isn't it? Crystal Ray, don't poke the red bear. That's right, just leave that fellow alone. Ursula von der Leyen, yeah. Deborah. Yeah. Look, every day, wake up and say, well, okay, things are looking up. I made it through another night. I'm awake. But as soon as you turn the media on, it's like, holy cow, what happened while I was sleeping? Sharp reporting that Zelensky is flying back to the U.S. tonight so he can sign the mineral deal tomorrow. I heard he was going to sign it. Lawrence, Justin Turboy was also on Epstein's list. Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking. That's what I've been hearing too, so we'll see. I didn't see it on the list they released. I looked. But it could be on another list, because that's just a partial one. Okay. What else did I have? Gateway Pundit usually has some pretty good stuff on it. There's a lot going on south of the border, I know that. Oh my. The Democrats are doing everything they can, the deep state doing everything they can to thwart Donald Trump and his cabinet. You know, who knows how much stuff has been destroyed, information. You know, it's... See, Patel and Bondi demand the full Epstein files now, but they can demand all they want. I don't know why Kash Patel just can't go in there and lock it down. Just that New York division of the FBI. Keir Starmer, he's going to be ready to send boots on the ground. Yeah, send the Brits over there so they can jump in on the slaughter, get slaughtered. Gave $2 billion, wants U.S. and Europe to join. That guy's an idiot. See, problem is, the Conservative Party was done like dinner over there. They were as far left as the Conservative Party could get without actually changing their name. And that's what the people got. Now they got voting remorse, voters' remorse. But once you put them in, but they had no option. That's the problem. Wonder what happened to Wiener's laptop. Hard to say, eh? Faye, more important stuff than Epstein. Yeah, but it fits into the picture. It's one more part of the whole thing that's going on. So Phil, stupid Freeland wants to point UK nukes at USA. I don't know what to say about that. She's an idiot. She's a complete blithering idiot. But oh, Trump's scared of her. Trump's scared of me. Trump is not scared of her. I mean, she thinks people's going to believe that? Oh, I beat Trump last time. No, you didn't. You know, what a pathetic bunch. All four of those ones running, like, Frank, Bistra, is it? Frank? I think it's Bistra, something like that. What did he get from, was it $235 million or something from the Trudeau government for what was it, ventilators? Didn't build one, not one, took the money. So there's a good con man running for prime minister. Yeah. So one brings a Nazi into parliament, one rips us off for 235 million, the other one is WEF, the other two are WEF, Freeland and Kearney. Yeah. And both liars. Lawrence or Gustra, no, that was, no, Gustra, he was the one that did the, didn't he do the uranium deal with, was it Barack Obama? Was that the one, or? I'm not sure. Looks like I might be buffering a bit. Not sure if I'm buffering or not. Lawrence, that's right, it was Russia, yeah. These people are freaks. 79 terra firma, no kidding. It says I got an excellent connection. I see something buffering there, but that could just be on my software, not on the stream. Well, that's YouTube Studio. No buffering, okay. I didn't think so, because my other monitor, it seems to be working fine. Betty, the first time Zelensky heard the truth was at his meeting with President Trump in the Oval Office. That's right, slapped him right in the face. Lawrence, good here? Okay, right on. Yeah, he didn't see that coming, but what a little tool. I mean, the arrogance. Oh, I don't know, it was $100 billion, I don't know where it went. And how come these arms are showing up on the black market? for sale. You know, are we ever going to get to the bottom of that? Any of this stuff? I doubt it. Yeah. Hit a cokehead, yeah. Rolling his eyes, yeah. Yeah. And then cursing at J.D. Vance. I think that's when Vance went off the rails. He wasn't going to sit there and put up that little creep. Yeah, but you look at CBC, Emma, and Trump was a bully in public, and J.D. Vance, they had that plan. That was an attack. Unbelievable. That's what the people are watching. CTV, Global, CBC, they just regurgitate the same lines. Those bullies, they attacked that poor little Zelensky, you know, and yeah, well, they didn't show him being thrown out of the White House, but actually, I guess they did. I missed that part. Apparently, it was a secretary or a staffer or something opened the door, escorted him out. See you later, don't come back. So, Liquid Gal, was it Clinton's? Yeah, that's right too. It was Clinton's. It wasn't Obama. You're right, Liquid Gal. Clinton, the uranium, yeah. From Alder Grove, BC, yeah. Phil, at least the fentanyls are as laser focused, yeah. Telling Trump will come to him only an ocean away, yeah. Well, that didn't go over too good, did it? Phil Kretchen deleted container inspections 2 decades back. Yeah, they're probably getting a little too close to Paul Martin's shipping lines, eh? A little bit of cocaine down in the hull. Eddie Janowski. And how bad we got lied to by the CBC about the plain. People still believe them. It's mind-boggling, I know. It is, it's sad. These people are totally brainwashed. But some of them are still dropping on the spot. Betty, meanwhile, Zelensky is responsible for getting millions of Russians and Ukrainians killed for his forever war. Yeah. Oh, it's sick. It is just sick. I think, well, Trump is going to succeed because that little worm, Zelensky, doesn't really have much choice now. And he just made it worse for himself because I think the plan that Trump, probably the plan Trump was working on was about as neutral as he could probably work out. I think that's probably going to change a bit now. I think it's going to cost Ukraine a little more. So, it's one thing Trump will do is make examples. So, Mr. Magoo, all the satellites in space is causing brain damage to liberals. There was something else just come out about the chemtrails too. That's being looked into. I'd like to see RFK Jr. Take that on. Seems to me it's in the U.S. is where it was coming up. So keep an eye on that. Anybody have a Yuki housemaid? No, but CBC is interviewing all the, well, not all, but they're interviewing Ukrainians here. And they're speaking against Trump. That's why they found them. They dug them up or somewheres. I think that was in Edmonton. I think that was Alberta. That's a big Ukrainian population there anyways. The Bohunks. I liked them. They were good people, but I never knew what a Bohunk was till I moved out to Alberta. But like I say, they're good people. They're the old Ukrainians. They still make good pierogies and cabbage rolls. Hey, you go upstairs, visit 82-year-old Rita to watch Canadians hockey games. Must keep mouth shut with her opinion on things. CBC. Oh, it's a terrible mind virus. That's CBC. Emma, I wonder if Ukrainian migrants will leave Canada. I don't think so, because the place has been, blown up quite a bit. So they probably don't really have much of a place to go back to. So, same with the Gazans. That's another issue. 5,000 Gazans coming in. Nobody wants them but Trudeau. The Americans are looking at our border. They're saying, there's 5,000 potential terrorists. And those Canadians up there won't do anything about that border. Well, it's not the Canadians, it's a Liberal government backed by the NDP, the communists and the Marxists in power. You know what they say, you can vote communism in, but you can't vote it out. And that's the way we're looking at right now. We've had 9 years of it, and we're being threatened with more. So, not good. Betty and the Bloc. Oh yeah. Well, they shouldn't even be in there. They're not a federal party. They pretend to be, but they're not. So, they're a separatist provincial party. They play federal, but they're not. They have no say. They should not have any say in the rest of Canada. Yeah, I'm so glad my boys are informed. Phil, your 2 sons are informed and up on jab good. 79 terra firma. Bye-bye, Alberta, yeah. Like I say, if they get rid of those transfer payments, Alberta'd stick around and they'd let us do our gas exploration and development here. We've got trillions of cubic feet, billions and hundreds of billions of dollars. Nope. As soon as Higgs brought that up, all hell broke loose. The natives aligned with each other again, so we're going to shut it down. Yeah. But they still want government money. I don't know where they think they're going to get it. I guess they get it from Alberta. Phil, the other jabbed up, jabbed, injured, disabled. That's too bad. Believing the media. Fake peace, which leads to WW3. Christopher, Alberta sending payments to other provinces. Oh yeah, they sure are, billions. Yeah, that's another good point, Lawrence. The northern diamond mines, yeah. Yeah, we got minerals, we got everything here. In fact, we just well stop the government money. Yeah, it's what it should happen, but natives could make money, Marie. Terra firma, natives get rich if they wanted. Look, natives up in Fort McMurray, they're doing fine. That's because of the oil and gas. They've got companies started up, they're employed, they're doing great up there. If we could get our energy industry going, there's a lot of natives would fire up companies and join in and make piles of money, way more than these government handouts. And there's a lot of natives that are eager to do that, but there's a lot that aren't. So they've got their own issues between them with band councils and all that stuff. So there's more politics there amongst the native bands. I worked with a lot of natives just on tools. Some of them are foremen. Yeah, same in Saskatchewan. So it's the government that is in the way. It's the government that creates poverty. They're not creating wealth, they're creating poverty. Poor people are easier to control because they rely on the government for support. And like I say, the government takes and gives back crumbs, and the people think, oh, that's great, I got something back. Yeah, it's like your carbon rebate every 3 months. Yeah, every 3 months. Well, okay, I think I get $90. That's $30 a month in a carbon rebate. I put 3/4 of a tank of gas in my pickup. It was $168. Our gas, that was $1.59 a liter. Our gas should be around 35 to 45 cents a liter is where we should be at with what the oil and gas that we have here. Our power bills should be half of what they are. It's because of liberal governments that won't let us extract our energy. So, hey, you get 170. Lawrence, 160 a liter here in NB. Yeah, I paid 159 at Costco. 70 for $30 pack of smokes and a coffee in Ontario. Yeah, it's just horrible. And the abuse, the money they steal from us. Trudeau, all his private flights, look at his security detail. It's just pouring money, just taking everything he can. The guy's a thief. That's just not him. It's his whole cabinet. Like I say, Anita Anand. Well, I'm not going to go for re-election. Oh, wait, I might have a chance to get back in. I can get some more money. I'm going, oh, no, I've changed my mind. I'm going to put my name back in the hat and run again. It's just too much to turn down, all that money. I know all the ropes now. Yeah. Oh, Lord, 2 packs of smokes, $28.50 in New Brunswick? Wow. Well, my cousin is a heavy smoker, so I'm going to grow some tobacco plants for him this year, and he can have those. I don't know why he's still smoking, but he is. I'll grow some tobacco plants for him. Some Virginia tobacco. 3.2 billion dollars. Wow, collected in Ontario yearly from tobacco tax. Yeah, well, I'm glad I kicked that habit a long time ago. You were getting bags of smokes delivered for $17. I wonder where they were coming from, Faye. Cristo Ray, $2.59 a gallon there. Yikes, it's expensive in Canada. I guess it is. Yeah. About what, $10 a gallon? That's Canadian. So the U.S. would be about $8 a gallon. Yeah, it's high. Getting the seeds from England, Fred? No, they're from Nova Scotia, actually. I've never grown it before, but I figured I'd put a few in for them. I've got no use for them, but there's another guy that's on welfare. You can probably give him some. Terra Firma diesel is 12 cents more than premium, yeah. Mohawk across the river, yeah, that's what I figured, yeah. Coming in a bag, yeah. 7 years ago, McDonald's, 2 burgers and small fries, $3.34. Now it's $11. Look, Canada is expensive. It's great for the our American friends down south of the border here to come up for a visit because the dollar, Canadian or the American dollar is strong. Our dollar ain't worth crap here. So the only problem is we've lost a lot of the tourism for hunting, especially bighorn sheep out in the west. Now I seen online that guides for somebody to come in to hunt bighorn sheep in Alberta or BC, it can cost them upwards of $250,000. Now that would be the permit, the guides, the accommodation, the retrieval, the processing, the whole everything from start to finish. That's the high end of it, but still, that's a big industry. That's a lot of people involved in that just for one bighorn sheep. So, Faye from England, yeah, you see, but no, you can't have that. You know, liberals don't know you can't have that. Yeah. They probably won't let them bring their own firearm in. They might. They can always go to the closest mosque and get one, I guess. I think they got lots in the basement. Phil, if you don't know how to cure it, it's not so good. Yeah, I'm not into eating goats or sheep, but even domestic, like fish. Rodney Kobsar, sorry came late and have to leave. I'll watch the recording later. Well, thanks, Rodney. Liquid Gal, Harbour locked Canada into a 31-year agreement to FIPA, a Chinese corporation, can sue all levels of government that might interfere with their profits. That's right. I remember when that happened. Yeah. 79 Mohawks are heavily armed too. Yeah, well, I think all the bands are actually. Well, they do still do substance hunting too. Right? It's in their agreements. So, anyways, folks, I appreciate you being on here and joining in on the Sunday. And covered a few things, rambled on a bit, but that happens. And we're going to do it again next week. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Keep your ear to the ground on the political spectrum. You know it's going to get rockier than it is before it gets better. So we'll try to stay in contact with everything that's going on. You can join in on X. I'm on there through the week posting some things. So if you're on X, you can look me up. Cross Canada New 1, I think it's called. It was a typo. So, okay, I'll say bye for now. God bless, and keep smiling.